I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any adjustments to the agenda?
None.
All right, consideration of the minutes.
They should be included in your packets, and barring any errors or omissions, I would recommend approval as written.
Make a motion to accept. Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
All right, any comments from the public?
Not yet.
We're missing our normal.
It's okay, everything is good. He left me
Okay.
a message on my machine to let me know that he had another commitment.
Okay.
But didn't want me to worry.
Okay.
I laughed out loud when I was listening to
All right.
it. I was all alone in my office laughing.
Maybe Alan will watch this.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have a presentation from the Pixel Fund.
We do. I wanted to jump up and just say quickly that Miss Jill came to me, I think, way back in September.
Yes.
Wanting to do something with this, and it has grown into something pretty cool. So take it away, guys.
Hello, my name is Scott Monroe. We work with the Pixel Fund in our classroom by writing bios for the cats that are able for adoption. We talk about how each cat has different characters and personality trait. We do this because we want to describe the cats in the most accurate way possibly, so the people who want to adopt them can see if they are a good fit for them. This helps us practice our writing, but it is writing with a purpose to help the cats that need to be adopted.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Phillips, and today I'll be talking about a cat named Lucky. Lucky is a kitty that started off as a stray cat and had a very rough life. And somehow, Lucky and her siblings found a way to live under our woodshed. At first, they were skittish. Lucky got injured outside, and Lucky's mom got Lucky into sight so we could see Lucky. Since she was injured, then my mom went to the store to buy a little cage for her because just in case she had any. Then my mom reached out to Miss Jill because she knew she worked with Pixel Fund, and Miss Jill tracked all of his siblings. 1 week later, we took her to the vet and we found out that Lucky had ringworm. Then got her prescription and killed all the ringworm. But then a month later, she started losing hair, which can happen sometimes when you get ringworm. And then a few months later, Lucky's hair grew back. It grew back orange and white. My family could not keep Lucky because we're all allergic. We decided to foster Lucky under the Pixel Fund. She turned into a playful kitty and we named her Lucky because she is lucky to be alive. Lucky is available for adoption.
And this is the slide that they made for Lucky in the bio that they wrote. And then the previous slides we were showing are all the bios they've written over the year and they updated them of which ones have been adopted and have not.
Very cool. Yeah.
Perfect segue.
I don't think we're gonna time that.
I'm so proud of them. They have worked so much from the beginning to where they are with their writing now. Learning about different synonyms and different vocabulary words. Now we're gonna start planning with, who are we planning with to be fundraisers, do you remember? Student council. Student council is gonna work with us and possibly we get to the town with the program to do some things. And we've also done some events at Petco where they join and help out. Lindsay came and brought Rocky to one of our events and stayed there for a couple of hours and was amazing. So, yeah, it's been a great community effort for them.
And they have a bulletin board as well,
And the bulletin
outside
board.
their classrooms.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we
cool.
need to update it.
Yes.
Some more, the other bios we wrote this week, and then some more we're gonna read later this week. Yeah. It should be.
Nice.
Continue to work, they're gonna do some field trips, hopefully coming up to the Humane Society, learning about different rescues and how they operate as a business and have their own physical facilities versus us where we do it out of our homes. So,
How many are in your home, Jill?
We don't talk
I don't keep count after about 15.
Just don't talk about that. Have any of you guys adopted, any of the kids at school adopted cats?
I brought him home on Friday.
The outreach was good enough that we reached her family, who surprised her with a kitten for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah,
The art teacher talked.
yeah, she's great.
She's great.
Wow.
We do have other families within the school that adopt.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's been a good learning experience for all of them.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Nice job.
Nice
guys.
We also do not expect you guys to stay for the rest of the meeting, so please feel free to exit. without-
School night.
Yeah, it's a school night.
What we're about to do is not riveting.
And by the way, buddy, your choice in music for your ringtone is amazing.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
my favorite
phenomenal.
song.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Luke will be sad.
Everything we do is riveting. What are you talking about?
If you want to know about tuition rates. All right, so moving on to old business, tuition rates.
Yep, you should have the tuition rates in your packet. So there are a couple of things there, just as a reminder. Tuition rates are something that's always projected because it doesn't come out until the end of December for the month you're in. There are a few things that play into that. One is their actual audit, which is why it comes out so late. But it's then divided by the number of students, which doesn't happen until the end of October. Typically, tuition rates go up 3 to 5%. You're going to see quite a significant increase in that. There are a few things with that. Student decline in enrollment is part of that factor, but part of it is also the inflation rider that they put on it every year, and that was about 7% this year, and we typically budget 3 to 5, and we were about 7%. You'll note that the state average, which is what Joe BAPS is at, plus the insured value factor, can only go up so much. The ones that really went up the most were the ones that were under the state average because they have more room to grow. You can't go beyond the state average. That's just a statute. So you'll see pretty much everybody went up anywhere from 6 to 30%.
Did you say 30?
Yeah, that's Hamden 30.
Yeah, why did Camden go up so much? Just because they
So,
been low? or-
I think they've been low, but I also know that they did a fair amount of spending last year because they had the additional fund balance, which I'm sure you saw in the paper that they were trying to, the undesignated, they were trying to spend down. And also, I think, again, as you look at what happens with your student populations, we're all dropping, so those pieces kick in. What it means here is we will be fine, but we are going to be very diligent on any spending that goes above and beyond what we absolutely need for the remainder of this year.
So does that mean that they were about 30% below the state average before? So they
More
were.
than 30%, yeah.
Because we're still not
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, the state average is 14,080.
Still almost
Right.
1,100 off from state
So
average.
one of those like weird things, Brewer went up just over 9%, which overall is where about 60% of our students go to. And so that had a bigger hit than BAPS because they only went up about 6%. But that number grew because they're still about 4,000 behind John BAPS. So it's just one of those pieces when you try to leverage out because of what they have for space. Other questions? So this is really just an FYI before we enter budget season, because that's everybody's favorite. Thanks, Mom.
That happens. All right, so moving on to new business, bill warrant 7.
Yep, I have it back. Okay. So we're going to do the policies.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't be sorry, I'm asking.
Yep, so policy review, CHA.
Yep, so I'll do these separately. CHA, Development Administrative Procedures. If you look at the policy, you have it in your packet. You already have one that allows me to create policy based on need and then bring it forward if necessary. This one allows a strong legal standing if challenged on any procedures that we have, which is happening more and more about the state, but this is a new policy. So we take any questions you have on it, but that one is actually fairly straightforward.
Any questions? All right, so do we need a motion
Yes.
to approve the first reading?
Yep.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the first reading of policy CHA.
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
And then moving on to GBJ. That's
Yep.
a tongue twister.
So personnel records and files, you will see it in there, and it's a little bit more stringent, but makes a lot of sense. The reality there is that we are getting more frequent FOA requests and legal requests, and this just gives you the ability to regulate what's out there. Most of this is covered by statute already, but if challenged when the governing board is also approved, it just gives you one more piece to say, no, that's not going out. It's all fairly straightforward as to what's released and what's not. I can go through that section by section if you want, but if not, I would recommend approval as written.
Motion to approve as written.
Second?
All those in favor? Okay, and moving on to reports. So we have the principal's report.
Absolutely, so you have my report. We survived a couple of weeks before Christmas. It was amazing. We had so much fun with the kids. There were things going on all the time around our building. The kids were so well behaved. That, of course, is from your teachers, keeping them engaged and with fun activities while still doing some learning. And it was just a really great couple of weeks. Had some great concerts. The day of vacation starting, we had a school-wide assembly where all the staff dressed up in their crazy, ugly sweater type things. And we had Mr. Russell MC, and we walked through just like a talent show runway and modeled our sweaters. So the kids had a ball doing that. And the band, the chorus and the band played some music for us. We had a great time. Want to fill you in that we returned from vacation with 4 student teachers and 4 university students in the supported mentor program that I talked to you about a couple of months ago. 2 of our student teachers have actually been with us right from the get-go of when we started this program, 3 years ago now, I think. So, and have already expressed interest in hoping that we're going to have positions available. So doing really well with that part, and they bring, of course, an energy to our building, and it's a lot of fun having them. 8th graders getting ready to start their high school night. So we have our first night, January 13th, when we'll have the 5 schools that will come, and our 8th graders will come visit those 5 schools, and then we go to visit John Babs and Brewer. So that's coming right up. Any questions for me?
I have a question about the student teachers. So right now, there's 9 student teachers, or?
We have 4 student teachers.
Okay,
And then 4 students that are part of the supported mentor program. So
okay,
the student teachers, that's an actual program in which they come, they're at the end of their college career, and they are either spending 8 weeks or 16 weeks with us, working with one teacher and learning all there is that they can learn, and they take over for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks of actual teaching on their own with the teacher supporting them throughout.
That's part of their curriculum to graduate.
That is part
That's
of their,
awesome.
that's their last hurrah for that. The supported mentor, these are new college students, usually 2nd or 3rd year, that have practical hours that they have to fill anyway. So they come to us and spend 5 days with us with one mentor, learning all about the ins and outs of the school, things like our fire drills and our lockdown procedures, and just all that, the morning routines.
oh
those
yes,
kinds
this
of
is all
things.
coming back to me now.
Yep, and then after that, their schedule allows for them to come to us at least 1 day a week. And they come, and if we have an opportunity for them to sub, they do that. If not, they go with their mentor and continue to learn. So
That's cool.
essentially, as I said before, 2 of our student teachers have been with us for over 3 years now. So they know all the teachers, they know some of the kids even there, and they wanted to be here.
Do you think that there's like an opportunity to expand student teachers, or do you think that it's hard?
I
to do
think
that?
what will end up happening is these 4 supported mentors will end up staying with us and want to be student teaching with us when
Okay.
it comes to their opportunity to student teach.
Okay, that's
So
awesome.
and that's part of what we talked about as far as trying to grow. So as you know, we've told you before, trying to, when we interview now, the pool is quite small. So
Yeah.
this gives us that opportunity to grow from within as well.
Yeah, I was thinking it must give really good support to the teachers
Oh,
too, to
they
have a
love it.
student teacher in their classroom. I know that they're teaching the student teacher, but I bet that gives the teachers a lot of support too.
Absolutely.
So-
And for the supported mentor for these new kids, I went in one day with, I think Mrs. Stone has someone right now, and I went in and there was a small group of kids sitting there working independently, and that person was right there with them, just helping them and providing support. It's just another pair of hands also.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they're learning as well.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
fun.
program.
It's fun to watch them.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, the assistant principal's report.
Well, happy School Board Appreciation Month.
Yeah.
This year, we really
I
do.
saw the post on Facebook. That was so sweet.
We do appreciate the support the school board gives administration and our staff in school, so thank you very much for that. You have my letter in your packet, and in December, kind of to piggyback off of the presentation that we had tonight, it was really cool, all of the classroom visits that I did, just seeing all the different ways that students are learning and engaging, how like just outside of the box and creative our teachers are with thinking of projects. So we have, as you saw, the Pixel Fund Bio project, but also I've seen even music class and art class, just other ways of learning, projects, again, out of the resource room with planning a vacation on a budget. And so there's so many things that go into that kind of
Luke was telling
learning.
me about
Yeah,
that.
lots of project-based learning.
He was asking me a lot of questions.
Yeah, I mean, it really is getting students engaged. And I just love seeing how excited kids are about learning, all the different ways that they're learning, and how the teachers are just coming up with all these just great ideas for things. So that's really refreshing.
January for me is a lot like September to start the school year. It's almost like just a renewal of the school year, new energy back, and thinking about the initiatives that we started the school year with. And then some of that kind of gets away from you in December as we're focusing on other things. So this is a really great time now. We're getting back to our thinking about connections, which is a big deal that we talked about with staff earlier in the year. How do we connect with students? How do we connect with families and other staff? So those conversations are coming back around again. We're continuing our book study as a staff on Tier 1 interventions and our Tier 1 teaching practices. And so this month in our book study, we're going to be focusing on like, what do we want students to learn and how do we create like this toolbox of learning opportunities so that there's multiple access points for all students so that they can really get into the learning. So those will be some really great conversations to have with staff and grow in that way. Are there any questions for me?
All right, moving on to the Pupil Services Director.
Yeah, you should have my report in your packet. And I hope this is the last month that I talk about the DOE review. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up. But Jill started with me 3 or 4 days ago. And one of the things that came out of our review is we can do some corrective action pre-findings now that will not end up in the actual corrective action plan. So Jill has jumped right in, has been working on those for us. So I'm so pleased with that. And it's wonderful to have her too, by the way. So, so we've been working on that and I hope I won't be sharing any more information about that with you. Kind of like what Sharon was just saying in December, you know how it can be so busy and no routine. And what I saw were some terrific events going on in the classrooms. I saw kids going on scavenger hunts, but they were very educational and very appropriate for them. And they didn't even realize they were learning. It was so much fun and it kept them very focused and busy. And we are definitely getting into that season where all of the referrals that have come about as a result of collecting data and providing interventions through the fall are now starting to come back. So we're really busy doing that. And I'm just really thankful that the teachers are working so hard to gather that data that will help inform these decisions. And that is what I have to share with you. Do you have any questions for me?
Welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving on to the superintendent's report.
Yeah, we've covered my report through the purpose of the agenda. The only thing I would add is you will note when we get to personnel, that Bob Phillips will not be coming back as the softball coach this year. It will be Emily Brown.
I did know.
And that's the first time in over 3 decades. So and he built the field and the stadium and the boxes and everything else. So I would say a huge shout out to Bob and a thank you. And he's still doing Sunday pitching. So,
Yes, good.
But Emily will be replacing him, and Emily actually played for him. So
That's awesome.
it's a nice round circle, but it's a very rare thing to see a coach for over 30 years. So I would just say that we need to acknowledge that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thanks, Bob. That was it for you?
Yes.
Okay. So moving on, there's no nominations, and then just going over the
Yep.
appointments.
So for drama, Pauline Miller, an assistant, Philippa Libby. Baseball, Adam Terrio. Softball, Emily Brown, again, as we just talked about. Track, Ben Walton. Assistant track will be Brian Grant, and then volleyball will be just Silly Boy. And those are just received, so you don't need a motion.
Okay. It looks like there's no resignations or terminations.
Not yet.
No executive session.
Nope.
Any other comments from the board? All right, there's no public here, so.
How you doing, Brian?
You can be the public. Do you have anything, Frank?
All right.
good.
This doesn't have, oh, there it is, when our next meeting is. So our next meeting is Tuesday, February 4th.
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, just note that because that's our budget workshop with the select board.
Okay.
I can't run across the road at 4:56, 5:56, so
No.
I got a plan.
No.
Okay.
You should have thought of that.
I don't know if they want me in their house.
All right, meeting
Should have been a
adjourned.
stipulation.
Thank you all.
That's what I told Garrett.